Welcome everyone to another Hearts of Iron 2 or 2 Hearts of Iron 4 mod spotlight. This time you have noticed, I think, already that this will be about releasable countries. In fact, the mod is called CSA and more possible countries. It will of course be provided with a link in the description for the mod, and as always, I haven't made this, and I will never make this. All credit goes to the mod makers, of course, for their awesome work. Now, what is this mod all about? Of course, as you can see, CSA and more possible countries. CSA refers to Confederate States of America. Yeah, not exactly the biggest fan of this country, but having it releasable is quite interesting. And more possible countries, because this was initially just a mod to make the CSA into the game, but then they decided to incorporate it with a lot of other releasable countries mods, and so now what you have is quite the interesting product of a lot of modders with a lot of different countries that were added into the game just to be releasable. And what I've done is, you can see it's only 2nd of January 1936. I only just went through all the countries and released all of them with console commands. We're going for all the countries and then going here and releasing the countries. Now, I will of course showcase what countries there are, and also the fact that if we go, they've also added, for example, the names of parties. So for example, in Quebec, the Democratic Party is the Union Nationale. So yeah, there's also a fairly decent amount of polish in this mod, despite it being still in its infancy. So for now, there's in North America, Quebec, New York, which is quite interesting, the Confederate States, the Deseret. I'm not exactly sure what this is supposed to be, and they start off as fascist by default. And California, which is honestly the coolest, because I like California. They've always got the best flag in every game that they exist in. That California's flag is just awesome. And then there's Hawaii. Now, Hawaii is of course not in North America, but it's still around. And they start off as non-aligned, because of course Hawaii used to be a neutral kingdom thing, and of course they've also got their own parties. In Asia, they haven't really added much, but they've added a few things. For example, Indonesia is the most important, because Indonesia only became independent in 1948, I believe. Still in the timeline of Hearts of Iron, and the fact that Indonesia didn't exist in a normal game is kind of annoying. So that's good that they added Indonesia. And then they added Malaysia, which actually I'm pretty sure was already in Hearts of Iron 4 standard. They added Burma, which is of course a little bit weird, because when they released, they had the Loyalist Party as the first sort of main leaders, because I'm guessing they're supposed to be like a post-colonial thing. And their Democratic Party has a very interesting name. Then they have Pakistan, which I'm pretty sure was also in the original game. And then they have Dravidistan, which is a state of southern India. I don't believe there's Ceylon yet, but it's part of Dravidistan. Now, then in Central Asia, they've only added Uzbekistan for now, but they will add all of the Stan countries, for example, Turkmenistan, etc., 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 and Kazakhstan, of course. I'm hoping, at least. Then they added this country called Caucasia, which is essentially just the Caucasus. As you can see, it's also got claims on Georgia and Grozny. Now, then they added a country called Georgia Armenia, which is interesting. I would have perhaps added both Georgia and Armenia, but meh, that's fine. Then they added Azerbaijan, of course, very, very cool. And Kurdistan, which is here. Then Jordan and Egypt, they already existed, so that's fine. In Europe, Serbia already existed, but they added Bosnia, which didn't exist before, so that's nice that there's Bosnia in the game. And I'm not sure if Montenegro was already in the game, but I'm pretty sure it was. So, just in case it wasn't, they added Montenegro as well. And in Italy is where things start to get very interesting. They added the Kingdom of the Two Sicilies, which of course, since 1861 doesn't exist, so that's kind of cool. And the normal party is Bourbon Restorationists, because Bourbon was the sort of ruling house of the Kingdom of the Two Sicilies. Then they added the Pope, the Papal States, which is very cool, and Venice, interestingly enough. Now, Venice is also kind of interesting because they start off with a claim on Cyprus over here. They have got a core state on Cyprus, and also this little province over here. They've got a few claims in Dalmatia as well. So kind of interesting. And then they added Occitania. I'm not sure how you pronounce this country in France, which is essentially just a southern French thing. They're going to add, I'm not sure if they've, well, they haven't added already, but I'm pretty sure they're going to add more countries in Spain. For example, over here is Navarra, and over here is Castillo, over here is Catalonia. Perhaps they're going to add the Basques, if they can squeeze in the Basque province from the map. They have made, I believe, a few changes to the map, but nothing too major yet. Then they added, I believe, Morocco didn't exist in the game normally, and Algeria as well, and also Tunisia. So very cool that they added those. And they added Congo, which is actually both Congos. In real life, there's two Congos. There's a Democratic Republic of Congo, which is this big thing that normally in the game is controlled by Belgium. And then there's just the Republic of Congo, I believe, which is this other country over here. And sometimes they're referred to by their capitals. So this one is Congo Kinshasa, and this one is Congo Brazzaville. So just a very weird thing. They've added both of them as the same country, and as you can see, they're just there. And then there's also Rhodesia, which is this country over here. It was kind of a colonial invention of the British. And the East African Commonwealth, which is over here, which is interesting. And also Somalia. Somalia is always nice to have up here. Then they haven't added Angola and Mozambique yet, but I hope they will soon, because those two countries are also very interesting. And then in Europe, we've also got more stuff. We've got Bavaria, which actually has a typo in it, unfortunately. Bavaria, which is kind of interesting. They have added Prussia as well, which actually has a lot of territory that it can claim. As you can see, it's very big. And it's also got claims on Poland, as you can see, Danzig and Ostpreußen. And also Poznan, right here. And then Poland also has a little bit more troubles in this mod, also because of the fact that they added Ukraine and Belarus, which for some reason weren't in the game already. I'm just really not sure why. Now, Ukraine and Belarus, of course, have claims on both the Soviet Union, of course, Ukraine over here and Belarus over here, and Poland, because Poland, by this time of history, occupied a lot of territory that had mostly Belarusian and Ukrainian populations, such as over here Lvov, or Lviv as it's in Ukrainian, and Bialystok, which is a more, and Grodno, of course, which is a more Belarusian area. Of course, also Brest-Litovsk, which is the city over here. So that is very, very cool that they added all these countries. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the entirety. Oh, actually, no, Britain also. They added Scotland, Northumbria, I believe this is country, yeah, which is just the north of England, Wales, which is kind of cool, and I believe that is it. If I missed anything, sorry, but, oh no, Ainu. They also added the Ainu Republic, which is, well, I believe the Ainu are mostly over here. They're mostly an indigenous group that the Japanese, the mainlander Japanese, took over in, I believe the medieval era, something like that. And so there's the Ainu Republic as well. So it's very, very cool that they added all this stuff. And they also added Vietnam, which didn't exist in the normal game. And as you can see, the Vietnam also has the Viet Minh as a communist party. So if you want, you can play as Ho Chi Minh, I believe, because he is the leader of that party. So that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this mod. And well, I hope you'll, download it, share it, do whatever, play it. And yeah, pretty much we'll see you soon with more mod spotlights and other Hearts of Iron videos. So stay tuned, and I'll see you guys.